pre-trial detention for head of Musavat Party Central Executive Administration. Bakhtiar Hadjiyev faces health problems. Mehmet Penali's hearing continues with questioning of witnesses. Forum on Kher flooding. Despair at lack of support for families of missing persons. Today, Sabal District Court extended the 2-month pre-trial detention sentence given to the head of the Musavat Party Central Executive Administration, Arif Hajili. He was given an additional 2 months, reported Hajili's attorney Asab Ali Mustafayev to Objective TV. Hajili's detention constitutes a violation of the law. There is no legal basis for his detention, and so we will appeal against the decision. Arif Hajili, head of the Musavat Party Youth Committee, Tural Abbasli, APFP Deputy Head Fuad Garamanli and APFP member Mamad Majidli are all being charged with violating public order. A total of 15 people are facing criminal charges after the opposition protests on April 2nd in Baku. Jailed youth activist Bakhtiar Hadjiyev is facing health problems, his brother Vugar told Media Forum News website. Vugar Hadjiyev met with his brother on May 24th in Ganja Investigative Prison No. 2. Bakhtiar did not complain about the prison conditions, the treatment by prison leadership or employees. But there are serious problems in Bakhtiar's health, particularly with his psychological well-being. He has problems with his nerves. There is no way he can be treated in prison. We will go to the International Red Cross Committee to request medical treatment for Bakhtiar, said Hadjiyev. Hadjiyev added that Bakhtiar is considering appealing against the court decision. He asked me about the social and political situation in the country, and he was happy to hear that there is more youth activism now. He wants civil society and international organizations to increase pressures on Azerbaijani authorities. The criminal case against Bakhtiar Hadjiyev was launched at the end of January 2011. He signed a statement of commitment not to leave Ganja city. At the end of February, his pre-trial detention was replaced with release under police control. On March 4th, Hadjiyev was sentenced to a month's pre-trial detention. It is widely thought that Hadjiyev was arrested for his activity on social networking sites and his support of the March 11th Great People's Day campaign. Hadjiyev was sentenced to 2 years in jail on May 18th by Nizami District Court of Ganja. Mehmet Penali's hearing continues with questioning of witnesses. Today, Nasimi District Court held the trial on the case of Azerbaijan National Statehood Party leader Mehmet Penali and his friend Ceyhun Fazılöyev. Judge Elman Ahmedov presided over the trial. The trial began with the testimony by victim Eldaniz Rizayev. He spoke about the physical violence he was subjected to by the defendants. He gave information about the injuries he received to his face, head and upper lip. Rizayev added that a medical clinic had issued a medical report about his head injury. Then, forensic expert Bahruz Mamedov testified. He spoke about the medical conditions of the victim as determined by an examination. Public prosecutor Ramazanov asked if the victim needed treatment for the injuries. The expert answered that 4 to 5 weeks of treatment are needed for trauma recovery. The defendant attorneys requested that the court ensure submission of the sources of scientific information referred to by the forensic expert, as well as the victim's final medical report. After the break, the witnesses invited by the defendant's side testified. The police employees, who were 30 meters away from the alleged incident, said that they had seen no incident. The defendant's side requested time to prepare a motion on re-examination. The judge scheduled the next hearing for May 27th at 10:15 a.m. Mehmet Penali, the chairman of the Azerbaijan National Statehood Party, was arrested under charges brought by citizen Eldar Rizayev. A criminal case has been brought against both men under Article 221.3 of the Criminal Code, hooliganism committed with a weapon. If he is found guilty, Penali could face 5 years in prison. Penali's supporters claim that the real reason behind his arrest is his journalistic activity. He wrote a number of articles criticizing the government, published in various press outlets, including the Nota PS. The second forum on last year's flooding in the Kher region, Kher Flood 2010, a look at the past year, took place today. Participants discussed the consequences of the flood, the existing problems and ways to resolve them. The event, organised by the headquarters of Kerr Civil Society, was attended by residents of the affected areas, representatives of the Ministry of Emergency Situations, and the Open Joint Stock Company of Irrigation and Water Resources. 1 year on, the after-effects of the flood remain unsolved in the 10 central areas of the country, despite the allocation of 300 million AZN from the state budget, said Oktay Gulaliev, the coordinator of the movement. According to Gulaliev, 3 issues remain: repairs to housing and infrastructure, the issuing of a one-off compensation packet, and assistance to farmers. Elkan Ahzadov, deputy head of the State Agency for Safety and Construction of the Ministry of Emergency Situations, admitted that there were difficulties, but at the same time he said that additional steps are being taken to address the current situation and prevent future flooding. To date, 2,401 houses out of a total 2,714 have been built, and a total of 20 million AZN has been spent, he said. The forum demonstrated that civil society sector and the government have different opinions on what caused the flood. Independent ecologists and economists believe that the flood was a result of bad management, while the government has deemed it an unavoidable natural disaster. Today, the Officers and Reserve Public Union held a press conference to mark the implementation of a new project on the defence of the rights of missing persons' families, which is being financed by the Council for State Support to NGOs. The project aims to assist in resolving legal issues encountered by families of missing persons. A number of governmental agencies were invited, but none were in attendance. The project director, Yashar Jafali, informed participants that 4,000 people nationwide have been registered missing after the Karabakh War. As part of the project, excerpts from the laws enshrining privileges for the families of the missing persons were presented. The chairman of the Social Support to Missing Persons Families Public Union, Batula Jabarova, noted that these families often have problems with accommodation and medical insurance. At the end of the event, a decision was made to collect proposals suggested by the families and send them to the Parliament in order to reform current legislation.
Bu təklifini necə deyim sizə? Bütün bu işlərini yoluna qoysunlar, sonra başqa işlərə əl atsınlar. Mənə lazım deyil o.